Hello YouTube, welcome for joining me this nice beautiful evening. I'm just putting my stuff together. I think I am ready. Okay, so hi all. So today we're doing the same thing as last time, right? That was the idea which I had. Let me double check with my schedule what was my plan. So my plan was okay, so Saturday stream wasn't really any details more or less set, I guess. Yeah, it's just Saturday stream, so I wanted to continue with looking into the YouTube analytics. I did a little bit of examples searching, so I was able to find YouTube API samples, which sort of like deals with all the different approaches. So just to recap a little bit. So last time I was looking into YouTube analytics. I wanted to sort of like connect, pull the YouTube data out of YouTube and do some data, like analytics engineering on top of that. What I was able to identify is that it's not really that straightforward, as always with YouTube, with Google, when it comes to, like them giving away the data for users. That's always kind of like, they're not really willing to share the data that easily. So I started reading and I found that you do have the support for your YouTube data to be exported directly to the BigQuery. So I was very excited about that. I thought that should be like pretty straightforward process. I would just, like click around, will generate some sort of like, like the auto exporter, and that would export, like data into BigQuery directly out of YouTube. Now, the reason why I was thinking this way, because you actually can do the same thing for the Google Analytics. At least you were many years ago. You would be able to set up the direct export from your Google Analytics into BigQuery. So I was hoping the same is applied for the YouTube. So I started doing that, and then eventually I was able to set up the export pipeline. But when I triggered the export pipeline, said like, okay, like run, it basically said that, okay, I don't have any available jobs for me to export. And I guess that makes sense, because what you're actually exporting in here is you're exporting your, like YouTube, channels. But what you're exporting the jobs, which sort of like is running. That was based in their documentation, right? Like when you go to data export, like create transfer, you're selecting, like you can select like, okay, we want to select like the YouTube channel, then you can specify the name, then you specify the data sets, and then configure. Yeah, so basically would create the jobs, and that's it. But well, this says that it's set it through the BigQuery will manage YouTube reporting jobs, but I mean, maybe I did something wrong. Let's maybe try again, right? So this is a YouTube configuration. So what is here? YouTube content owner. Let's try this one, right? Let's go again, like for those, like it's kind of like wasted a lot of time last time. I mean, we learned a lot. We looked into, understood how the query works. We understand that actually like it's, yeah, so data set. So let's create a new data set. Let's call it data set ID. So YouTube, how it was called, the one was just like a channel owner, right? So let's like a single region. Contains letters and underscore. So YouTube channel. What was the name? YouTube content owner. Okay, so data set, create new. So YouTube content owner. I don't want it to be multi-region. Having it in one region is more than enough. I mean, if you building something like that for production, most likely you might want to have that in multi-region. Would you? I don't know. Enable table expiration. We can, I believe, set all of these things in the future. So we do have this part. Let's put a name on that. So this is YouTube content owner. So start now. Now content owner ID. So this should be the external ID of the content owner of whose behalf this transfer config is created. Okay, so if I go into and then the service account, we're taking this one, table suffix. Let's try. Okay, so let's, sorry for this flickery, I'm just bringing up additional monitor. Right, so the things should be back on because I will want to go into a little bit of setup here. So okay, so if I go into my YouTube, where can I get the channel ID? So if I go into here, so content owner ID, so the external ID of the content owner on whose behalf this transfer config is created. Channel advanced settings. Their settings, manage YouTube account. You manage your channels, you advanced settings. Okay, channel ID and then user. Okay, so found a channel ID. So okay, so this one to be owner ID. So maybe it's this, right? So let's try. Nope. Okay, and then table suffix. I don't know. Ice. Job ID suffix. Okay, so let's save. Table suffix. Icebreaker. Engineering. Nope. The table suffix should be unique of all transfer configs loading into the same dataset. Table names are formatted. What do you want from me? I don't get it. So what do you want to me? It's something like suffix? No, you just test 1, 2, 3. That doesn't make any sense. Like, why are you angry about that? That doesn't make any sense. So this is good. This is unclear. Only include word characters. Pineapple. Oh, so maybe it had something in it. Okay. So icebreaker. Okay, let's try to save that and let's see if that will work. Okay, so it's sort of like pending now, so eventually it should start, I guess, right? Select a recent project, this one. Okay, so this again failed. And why did it fail? Color does not have permissions. Okay, so the color which was calling did not have permissions, and I think that So this is the errors. Permission denied. Content owner, permission denied. I think the reason for that is that my user, which I'm using, right? So if I go into EMIs, we do have our service account. Where is our service account permission node? So this is, so I want to find in under EMI roles. No, not roles. It should be service account. Now, this is the service account which I wanted to have an access. So let's manage permissions. So grant access. Enter at least one principal. Okay, so can I just grant access for so if I go in here, let's try manage keys, right? So this is the keys, permissions, view access. This would be going into the policy analysis. So principal is this one. Okay, so let's say we want to have this as a principal. So now if we're getting in here, so in grant access and we're selecting the principal to be the same. Okay, now the service role. So let's go with the YouTube. We don't have any. No, but this is just what? Create service account. That's not what I want to do. No. It's not here. At least I don't think so. By roles. So if I create a service account, let's start one more time. So YouTube, create and continue, select role. So this is what I was looking for, right? Like, do you have YouTube here? No. Do you have BigQuery here? Yes, you have BigQuery here. Oh, wait a second. So if I get in here, so this is the, okay, so now I need to, okay, so I think this is could be a YouTube add or manage channel. So this is the channel. Now add or remove managers. So yes, I think so. Manage permissions. Okay. Sorry, it's on the on the other display. I need to off myself. Okay, so add email, right? And I want it to be invite. Done. Okay, so now I actually added this user into the list. So now if I would come here and I would press retry, would that help? Nope, that's the same issue. Now, who is the caller in this case? Yeah, don't really getting it. So if I go into, okay, configuration, so user this one, and I did added this user, right? Yes, this user is added in. Unless it's need a little bit more time. Yeah, as always, these things takes time, but eventually when you do them, it's so nice to have them done. Okay, content owner ID, that is manage YouTube account. Make this channel the default. Now move, delete channel, and the channel ID. Okay. Let's get back and now add or remove managers. That was the thing. So the manager is added. Okay, so if I update the credentials, what do I get? He seems to be missing permissions on the billing project. Billing project can be changed using the project picker at the top of the page if the project is correctly. Permissions on the billing project. Okay. Let me try to, okay, what if I would go with this one? No, this is no, not that one. So this is the user. I kind of like specify, and this is choose account, or yeah, so I'm choosing this account. Okay. Let's go to the billing project then. Let's go a little bit outside of the screen, I guess, with the billing project. Services, all projects. So if I go now into BigQuery, so datasets is empty. We do not have any data in here. if I go into the data transfers, select this one, I would say, okay, let's retry. Actually, let's go into configure, date credentials, select this one, allow. Seems to be missing permissions on the billing project. The billing project can be changed using the project picker on the top. Okay, I don't know what they want from me with this one. So if we go into, oops, if we go into AI, right? Not really sure what they want. Like, I don't really see anything in the billing project, my billing. So missing permissions on the billing project, project picker. Okay, check the project permission. Show you have the correct project selected. Double check the project picker on the top to select the appropriate project is needed. Navigate admin section. Google Cloud, view roles and permissions assigned to your account for the project. Request billing permission if you're not administrator contact. Okay, so does it mean, okay, let's try something else. So if I go into the, again, users, and I would say, hey, I want to grant okay, just source this one. So this is the count. Okay. Should I think was almost there this way. So add this, save. Okay, so I did some changes. Let's see if that helped by anything. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm selecting this project, right? This is the user. Should I change that to be my user? Well, okay, let's try, right? So let's, okay, so create another transfer, YouTube, content owners, YouTube. Okay, data set, YouTube content owners, content owner ID. So this is the external ID of the content owner of whose behalf the transfer config is created. I guess as we know it, YouTube account, advanced settings, user ID. Okay, so contents owner, that's the user ID. This is, we just go ICE. Now the service account, optional, specify the service account to authorize the data transfer. Okay, so if I go here, okay, so so this is optional, right? So I can save it without that and then say like, okay, so what do you want to do? I could say, okay, use this one and then allow the access. The caller has no, okay, enable BigQuery transfer service. To use BigQuery transfers, you must complete the following steps. The project owner, create a project, enable BigQuery API, and enable this one. Okay, so I do have console. So I do have a project, right? So this is a project. Now BigQuery transfer is enabled, right? Now additional what we can and what we additionally need to is to BigQuery API. BigQuery API is also enabled. So both of these things is enabled. So if I go into the API, so we do have a BigQuery API and BigQuery data transfer. Okay, so these two is enabled. Under credentials, we do have a credentials as well. This is the API keys. Do I want to have an API keys? Though I guess I don't, not yet. That's just like library. Okay. If you call a BigQuery that's immediately after you transfer, you should implement retrievable callback. Solve project. So create a project, enable BigQuery done, enable BigQuery done, enable transfer done. Use service agent to access and manage your resources. This include is not limited to the following. Starting jobs. Okay, this service agent is created on your behalf after you enable BigQuery data transfer and use the API for the first time. Upon service agent created, Google grants the predefined service a key control automatically. Different project with service account and project number, manual service agent creation. So add member. Okay, I have one more. Okay, so what if I would press save and then I would select this? Would that work? Yes, that would work, but this is not what I wanted to do. Shoot. Oh, still failed. Okay, request to YouTube reporting API failed for the method get jobs. Yeah, I'm just okay, let's try again. Delete, delete, delete. Okay, so data transfer, create transfer, YouTube content owner. I'm just now doing just without actually just so. Content owner. Nice. Service account. I want to use this service account, right? But the thing is that it just fails immediately. So the, okay, so it's, so this is the service account which I'm using. Manage details. Okay. Now, so this is who principals with access to the service account. Okay. The resources the service account can access. Okay, but this is no, so this is granting an access to the service. Okay, I think but this is not actually specifying what the service itself. So this is just like a managing. Okay, so this is a different, just saying who can access. Okay, give user specific access to manage service account, service project, modify service to assign this project role. So this is just adding the principal who can access that. So right, but how do I, this is just like managing the access, but not, okay, is it just under EMI? No. No, not here. So should I go into the API? Okay, I really forgot. It was so long time ago. So this is just viewing access. Can I change the access from here, like poll analyzer? So this is the resource for the things. So this is just, no. So organization policies, okay, that's the policy, okay. Okay, so grants, proof grants, entitlements. I don't think this is where I want to be. Principal email resource. YouTube. Nope. Sorry. So I want to select this. Now here, YouTube. No. There should be a way. Custom query. Who can impersonate service? Nope. So this is the service, right? So here I should found, nope. Manage resources. Add principal. No, this is the principal for, yeah, that's roles. Error reporting, Firebase. No, I think it should be over. Right, so this is the project. This is the API requests. Monitoring. BigQuery, go to project. Resources. Explore enable APIs. Okay. Now here. I don't really see many APIs. Okay, so right here we have YouTube API, right? So if I would enable this one, would that be enough? Okay, now it says like, okay, so credentials. So does it mean that this service automatically can use this now? I guess I can. Just delete that. It's not needed. Okay, so if I enable this one, let's get back a little bit more. Right, so we also have this API. Let's enable this one as well. I mean, maybe this is the only thing which was missing. I just didn't had enabled all the APIs for myself. And finally here, this one is for the data. Let's see if that will help. Okay, so we do have this thing done. Now let's get back into BigQuery. In the BigQuery, we can find the transfer. Right, so this is this one. Now, if we would select this and run configure and basically update credentials and say like, hey, you know, like, can you now select these things? Yes, that's a great success. Whew. So I just had things. Okay, now Can I retry this? Yes, just let's retry. Is it retrying now? Is it still failing? That's the old failure. No older entries found. Okay, so okay, it still failed this one. YouTube reporting API failed methods get job. Okay, let's get back into the APIs. Reload. Enable API services. So we do have the reporting API here. Now, quote system limitations. Credentials. So this is basically like who can use it, as I understand, right? Create credentials. Service account. Let's try one more time. So YouTube, icebreaker, exporter. Maybe I missed something. Create and continue. Now role. It's just an owner. Grant service account access to the project. Let's just give it full, whatever. Continue. Grant users access to this account. Optional. I don't want users to get access to this account. That's fine. For now, we have this one, YouTube icebreaker, right? So this service account. So if I get back into the transfer on the BigQuery, and we go into data transfer, and let's remove this one, right? Let's remove this one. And now let's create a transfer for YouTube channel. So YouTube channel. Data set is just YouTube channel ice, right? Configure a job. If set to true, we'll allow that. That's great. Save. Now we just give access. Okay. Let's see if that will succeed. Look, finally, yes, it's running. Oh man, I'm rusty. I'm so rusty with these things. So this one is running, that's great. Icebreaker, enable services, great. So if I would look into this one, it's running. That's great. Okay, let's get back to another one. And I'll create a transfer for YouTube content owner. So YouTube content owner, right? Now the data set is YouTube content owner. The content owner ID is, I think, external ID of the content owner on whose behalf this transfer config is created. Okay, so I don't know what is the content owner ID in data transfer for YouTube. Is this the same as user ID in YouTube channel? Of course, I should ask, the content ID is the YouTube's data transfer system refers to a unique identifier associated with content owner account, which is typically used in the context of the YouTube's content manager system. Content owner account is used by large organizations. Content owner ID, this is ID specifies YouTube's content manager system, typically multi-channel networks, right? YouTube channel user ID, this ID refers to individual when content owner ID is used. Okay, I don't think I have this thing. I mean, I could still copy, you know, and see if that would work. But I don't think that would, and we're just taking, just saving this. And I think this will fail, right? Yes, this one is failing, which I think is fine. I mean, we don't really have, we're not an organization, we cannot do that. So this is great. So this was successful. So now if I go into BigQuery and I would actually expand on the data set, and here you go. That's so beautiful. We have a channel cards, right? So with the data in it, last date, table explore preview. Yeah, I just want to okay, so we just this is job history. Okay, so this is the query. So what do we have here? This is P is, I don't know the difference between the P and no P stuff. I know they mean something. I think one something like, yeah, but I don't know the difference between those. So playlist, province, details, preview. There is no data to display. That's sad. Preview. There's no data to display. What? Okay, so let's write a query, right? Select star from how do I say that now? So I want to query just a start, and let's run the query. And it has 0 results. That's sad. I'm curious, why is that? Was there no data available to me, or what is the idea? Okay, so let's go to the data transfer. Yes, let's leave that. We can delete this because this is not used by us anymore. So now if we would expand here, so this should schedule for a try, automatic schedule, and this transfer was complete. So let's see how that went. Okay, so found report ID and found this report ID. And then these two reports didn't really had any data with those. Data is now ready to load. No reports to do. Found 12 jobs with the reported the temporary not available. Right, and then importing two reports. Started automatic backfill. and then again, these two jobs are completed. I don't know how I feel about that. Configure jobs. So if set to true, BigQuery will manage YouTube reporting jobs for you and will create new reporting jobs for the report types that do not exist yet. So do I need to create the report types now? Is that the idea? Okay, so if that's the idea, so we did this one. This one is working. So the next thing which I want to look is that, so this is this bunch of samples. Now, if I go to so YouTube Analytics, YouTube Analytic Report, so that's what I wanted to look. So let's just grab all of that, right? So let's grab the raw Python code. Let's open our YouTube project. It looks ugly. Let's restart that. Okay, YouTube Analytics, great. So let's make it a little bit bigger so it would be easier for you to watch, and just put, so this is our Python class, is the reporting. Okay, let's add that. Let's put the code in here. And let's go. So first of all, what we do know, this is an old, looks like Python 2 code. And also let's introduce the interpreter for the project. So project structure, I want to use Python SDK, and I want to specify my shoot. So I want to specify my own path. Just want to say this is bin and Python. Right, and we just apply here and we apply here. By the way, I think what I want to do is also, oh, I cannot change, it's fine. Right, so we have this one. Now the next thing is we need to import Google API, right? So where can we find this? Right, it's in here. So then let's add that as a part of our requirements. And let's put it in here so we have it available. Now just activate our environment. And let's install the requirements. So we're installing the Google API. These things should go as well. So we do have a client secret in our path, right? So this will be in our dev / okay. And I hope this one will also work now. YouTube Analytics read only, YouTube Analytics, these things seems to getting fine. And this is the channel ID. This will not work, so we need to change into the Python free approach. Still fascinated how these examples still points to what it should print here. Right, and then eventually let's put it here. I think that's the approach. Okay, so if I go okay, we're still missing the module. What about okay, so we're getting into the requirements. And let's install missing dependencies. Okay, by the way, let's restart the project. I wanted to, okay, so this part is good now. This is good, so we go Python reporting. Okay, that's a nice error. Say like, okay, I don't know what you want to do. I'm iterating over the items, which I don't know. So let's get back into what it's saying. So what they want to have filter command. Okay, so we do have a channel ID right here. So we can say this is our channel ID. So can I just again call the same file and just add the channel ID? Oops. So let's stop that and let's add this one. And it's just failing. So content owner. Do we have a content owner? No. Do we have a filters? Do we have a channel ID? Guess. But it's failing telling at remove empty args. Iterate items. I think it's just items. Oh my god, this code is so old. From client and secret. Now let's go flow equal installed app row from okay, let's get back into okay, so we go to the reporting API and I will just say like, okay, so let's go to the documentation of this. And now in here, let's go into, right, I think I just want to create this. I think this is more, this is retrieve the report. Is it updated more? No, this is also very old. They just don't care. See client libraries documentation for the support. Okay. Yeah, so this is where I was. I went here eventually and I ended up being in here, which is just updated like 7-11 years ago. Like, okay, you know what? I spent too much time in here. So YouTube reporting Python project, right? So YouTube reporting API, YouTube analytics and reporting. Okay, so what do we have here? Still a very old article. And secret, and you just say storage credentials file from flow from the client, flow from client secrets, from client secrets file, and this is client secret and scope. It's the same, and then credentials. Dot. DC run console, but such thing doesn't exist, so I know it will not work. I just forgot how frustrating it sometimes is. Right, so client secret must be a part of the web or installed app. What about using from Google Auth? Google API client. Yeah, what I would want to have is like a proper example of code samples, which is not 20 years old. Installed app flow. Low run console. Says scope. Okay, let's check this one because I think we might want to change this one for the service account access. So server-side web app, load to support web applications that store persistent information, TVs, flow, server-side web apps. Okay. service accounts, yes. Okay, no, this, come on. Access token. So flow authorize. This is the scopes and states. Yeah, I should have worked on something else. This is just nightmare. So do I have both of these added in? Let's make sure that I do. So one is added, another is not. So let's get rid of this one. Okay, everything looks to be fine. So library panel, credentials panel, I created API key. So set up and run open documentation for the channel list. YouTube read only, that's good. So now Python, so but I want to get using server-side web app. So this was, no, I don't want to get this one. I want to use the service account. So now let's search for Python service account. Okay. Move from client login to OAuth. So YouTube APIs authorize user requests. We frequently ask. Client login flow using for server-side standalone scripts. So many developers use client login to authorize online scripts that run service without browser. Correct. If there is almost going to be browser involved, the exception being when you're working with Android applications. Okay. In web-only flow, the website wants to make the notification call on behalf of the user to redirect for the user to authenticate, which makes sense. Our Python code sample demonstrates how command line script can launch a browser. Okay, but I don't want to do that. Install applications. So this is different, right? I don't. Okay, server does not work with the. Okay, wow. Service accounts do not work with the YouTube API calls because service accounts requires association YouTube channel, and you cannot associate a new or existing channel if you are a user service account to call YouTube API. Server returns an error unauthorized. YouTube Syncamp requires. Okay, so I learned something new. YouTube doesn't support service account. For that reason, you cannot really use them. So for that reason, I need to just have, you know, like, got it. Makes sense. Okay, so then there is no point for us building any sort of like Python code in here, because what we want to do is, you know, like trying to explore. It's the same thing, right? So if I'm going in here and I say like, okay, I want to see a list of the reports, try it. And actually we can right? So the job ID, I just want to have list of jobs. Can I get the list of jobs? Yes, this is what I want you to authenticate with. And this is a list of jobs. So let's copy all of that list. Good. So this is the list of jobs. Great. Porting for the playlist province A. Create a time when the things were created. So they were all created yesterday. That's good. Now, what I want to do additionally, I actually would like to create a job myself. So it needs the reporting type and then system manage or not. Now, let's get back to the dimensions and actually let's get to the channel reports. So the channel report, channel basic A2, dimensions. So all of that is already included, right? So I just want to have this report available to me. So if I go into the reports, now do I have this report already available to me? I do. It's in here. Reporting jobs for channel A2. Okay. Now I want to get a report for the job ID. Do we have a job ID? So reporting ID and job ID. So reporting, report type, so report ID. So this is the report ID. Right, so reports. So list of the, oh, so this was a list of the jobs, right? So this is a list of the jobs. Let's put it this way. So this is, right. This is the list of the jobs. It has a job ID and has report type ID. So now if I want to create reports, a report resource identifies the specific instance of the report that is identified. So get retrieves the metadata and then list of the reports that generated. Okay, so if I press list, I need to provide a job ID. I can do that. So I want to look at the final one, which is this one. So this is my job ID, right? So I want to look at this one. Execute. Yes, for this account. And okay, let's expand this. What do we have? We have a bunch of reports. So that's good. So I will take those. And we can look into, oops, Control C, Control V. So we have a bunch of jobs generated. So start date, end date, start date, end date. And this is sort of like the noun URL for all of these reports in here, right? So I don't want to look at all of them. So what I want them to do, I want actually to get, this is the job ID. C2 and the job ID is always the same, and this is the report ID. Perfect. So now what I want, I just put that a little bit on the different screen. Now what I want to do, I want to once again get into the get for the reports, and now I want to get a job ID. So I do have a job ID, which was let's copy the job ID. Right, and now the report ID is this one. So this, let's get the report ID, right, this, and let's execute again on the same. What we do have here, and we do have here the same information which I already have with the list. So this is actually irrelevant. I mean, that's good to know. Okay, so we have this available to us. And then there is a report type. So we cannot really do anything more about that. Now, this is where the things is interesting. So we do have this transfer here, which succeeded and run once. All right, so if I look into channel cards and stuff like that, so into importing report 1.2. Okay, so the channel basic A2. So we do have channel basic A2. So this is the report ID. Is that correct? So the reporting job for channel basic A2, channel cards, channel basic A2 is C2. Yes, it's this one. That's correct. Now reporting with this job, but I was able to find the reports for that. So I do see reports for that. Why don't you show any? So it should be available as well. And basically said the same for all of the others. So, okay, so it's able to see all the reports. It just was not able to, interesting. Is there a way to runs every 2 hours? Is there a way to retry? Schedule backfill. Let's go backfill. Run one time transfer run for the date range. Yeah, let's try date range. So we want to go from, so earliest I see, actually let's go to our channel and let's see the video, right? So when it was added in. So the latest which I see was August 14. So if I go to our, so let's go to the August 1st. Sorry. August 1st until today. No, come on. August 1st. Close. And now here, let's go to today. Yesterday. Today. Okay. Cannot schedule the run for the future. From August to Friday. Backfill scheduled. Okay. Let's try. Let's refresh the page. Perfect. Transfer pending. That's good. Success. Great success. I like that. That's really good. Okay, so while this is running, let me actually try to do something. So I want to go into my channel and I want to see if I actually can I want to see if I actually can let's copy this part here. Let's copy this part here. I just want to change the title of the stream, so I hope I hope I'm able to do that. And so it's part 2. And yes, let's save this. Okay, is that change? So if now I go into the Yeah, now it looks much better. Now it had like a proper title. Woohoo, that's great. Okay, so that's good. Succeeded. So we do have some transfers from like 414. It actually was running, right? So for the 11th as well, was able to, you know, like found reports. And so, okay, so now if we go to the BigQuery Studio and actually we'll look at our data sets for the YouTube, now we actually are getting things, right? So we have a bunch of things in here. So we can look at the basic A2. That's what I wanted to see. We have a bunch of data in here. That is so nice. I feel so much better. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just like, it's just very, very good. Yes, 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 yes. Perfect. Finally we have some data. Finally. That's amazing. That's really, really great. So this is just so nice to have. But wow. So we have a channel, we have a video ID, subscribe status. Oh, this is sort of like a more information of, wow. This is really cool. This is really, really cool. This is amazing. Yeah, definitely. I mean, this stream, I'll just backfill the data. This is running. So what do we know? We know that you do not really need anything to initiate these reports, right? You can just go directly and do everything from the UI, right? You can just say, Google, hey, take care of everything, and it will do all of that for you. So now the next thing, which will be very interesting, is for us to building a data, you know, like sort of like a pipelines out of that, extracting the information and trying to figure out what we actually see in that data, which is just nice. So this is preview, doesn't have anything, just fine. I mean, I should have added like a proper name, but like, yeah, it's fine. We only have one channel, so it doesn't really matter. Like, I think if you would have like multiple channels, you would want to do something with that. Can be deleted. Yes. Delete. We don't need this one because this is for like others who have. So this is good. So details, view replicas. We don't need the replicas. Sharing. It's fine. That's cool. Okay. What else do we have here? Channel annotations, details, partitions on the field, partition time, partition by date, row numbers, detail, row numbers, logical disk, space, channel combined, details, partitions need to expire, yes, traffic source, nice. That's really cool. Video ID, playlist ID, live on demand, traffic source details. So we need to sort of like know, but this is fine. Like we can add these things in and that will be cool. Yes, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that we managed to nail this thing to be able to get the data in. That's really, really good. So what I would want to be able to see here is how much data in general we'll have. I mean, we will not have many data. Like our channel is very small. Like we don't really have a lot of, you know, visits or people watching. So this is totally fine. But this is great. So like I think I'm most impressed by this data set. I kind of was like, so what I know is like looking into the YouTube analytics, you basically do not really get the information about the channel ID. It's so lacking of stuff. And now in here, this is just great. Like you would have like like your video ID. So I could say like, okay, let's grab. Okay, so if I'm on, what would be the video which I had? Let's say one of the cool ones which I found myself, like this one, right? So this has like a bunch of people like that one. I also like that myself. All right, so if I go, so this is the video ID. Yes, that's the video ID. So if we go into BigQuery back here, we actually can try to write, a query. Where it was in here. So let's write in the new tab BigQuery. Let's select star for the time being. Let's run this one. So no data to display. Timestamp truncate partition with timestamp is, let's say, is more or equal to the September 1st, right? And we're getting all the records. So what I also want to do, and video ID is equal to my video ID. So let's run this one. And I'm having these records, right? So I assuming this is, okay, so this is accumulated per day, which is fine. Why do I have these as a 3, 4, 5 different rows? Oh, because of the different countries. That's great. So I'm able to see per, that's, I guess, is a known country. New Zealand, subscribe. Ooh, I have someone subscribe from New Zealand. That's amazing. That's really cool. Like, oh, man. The average, like viewers duration, like watch time. Subscribers gained. So this is basically identifies when the subscriber was gained and read watched. That's cool. Okay, what about like, okay, so we good with this, good with this. These things are running, so that's cool. So, okay. Let's see how the transfer is doing. Yes, leave and say it worked, it's fine. So the transfer is, no data was available to import. That's understandable and it's totally fine. And maybe we'll not be able to get past 30 days, which is also okay. And now we have this running and it's already like scheduled and pending. So that's really, I think this is really great. So, and right. And that's the configuration, run history. Page plus Google, it's good, every 20 hours. Mail notification pops up, table suffix, configured job. This is failed, this is totally fine. I don't care about these. Actually should be able to, can I remove these somehow? No, this is deleting what? Yeah, this is deleting all of that. I don't want to delete all of that. These can fail because there is no data. But it should be fine in the, yeah, that's great. That's so good. Okay, so I guess, ooh. So what we can do is that we can use Trino to access this data and move that into, let's say, like other storage, and then we can use that, and this could be our project as well. Additionally, what we could do, we could look into extracting the information like the, like list of the subscribers or like a bunch of, other things. This is so cool. I think before us doing anything of that, one of the things which I want to look as well is that we need to go into documentation. What we need to understand the report types, which we got. So the report types, where are they? Channel reports, right? So this is the reports types which we have. And this is with all the information which is available. So we do have a basic. So the video reports provide the statistics for all user activity related to channel video. For example, these reports contain a number of times that your video were viewed. Yeah, makes sense. So we've seen those things: live or demand, subscribe status, country code, right? User activity by province. So this is for the US, and this would include, like for the US stuff. Playback locations, the report provides the statistics on where the video occurred. The ID of the report is this way. Views, add, watch. So what is red views? So yeah, so the number of times that the video was viewed by the YouTube Premium, also known as YouTube Red members. There is YouTube Red. There is YouTube Red. I want this camera to be put it somewhere in here. Would that make sense? Let's try that. So if I would take this one, don't fall. Well, we're putting it in here. And now when I'm talking here and turning and looking, I don't like that. That's not really great. Where I would want it to be, I want it to be somewhere. Which I don't fall. Somewhere in here, right? Or somewhere in here. Yeah, I wanted to have here, but then I need to find a stand for it. Okay, so that's for the next project for the next time. So for now, you stay here. And whenever, yeah. Not good, not good. You good? Happy for you. Okay. So this is the red views. Okay. Use percentage. Actually need to just use here the core metrics. Okay, so how is the transfer? If we go to, it's in here, just in the transfer stuff. So these was done and this is fine. Now these automatically scheduled for a try, automatically scheduled. Okay. When will this run? Run details. Okay, more update credentials. It's fine. I think it's when it starts failing with the update credentials, we'll do that. Options. Yeah, we good. We can wait for them for these to be done. That's September 15. So that's for the run day for the 13th. So this might be not full. And this is also, oh, okay, so it's run. Okay, got it. Okay. Sorry, I'm jumping back and forth and just like really data form. What is that? So your first data from repository with the data form data teams collaborates on a single repository to manage their SQL code while following the software engineering best practices. Create repository. I don't want to do that. I mean, it would be cool to SQL translations. Okay. So that's a translation. So is it? I see. Monitoring, job explorer, recommendation, disaster recovery, data transfer, schedule queries. That's cool. That's the scheduled queries to run. That's the data. That's so cool. Okay, so Chromex, I don't care about that one. Okay, so I guess external connections, data preparation. So I guess sorry, I mean, I'm just so fascinated that I have the data available to me, so that's really, really good. Okay, I think let's call it a day. For the next time, which most likely will be either Tuesday or sometime next week, or maybe, you know, like, I don't know, then I have some other projects which I want to sort of like push a little bit. I think this is a big milestone which we have. We have a data available for us. We're able to connect to the data set and sort of like pull the data out. So that's really, really good. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for joining. I mean, I had a blast. I had a blast because we were able to finally get the data out. We kind of went back and forth. As always, you know, like reading documentation helped a lot. So let's do, you know, like a short recap of all the things. So if I would start this project from scratch, right? So what would be the steps which you need to, so yeah, so what we learn, right? So what we learn is the following thing. So what you need to do is very simple thing. So let's take, you know, like let's go new project. Let's say, okay, my project, recap YouTube, right? YouTube. So to make this thing work, and let's switch to the recap YouTube. So project and okay, so project created. Right, so recap. So I don't have anything in here. I do have the BigQuery and stuff like that now, right? So if you want to do the following work, if you want to move your YouTube data from the YouTube channel to your BigQuery and then do some analysis with it, what you need to do is the following thing. So first, you have YouTube channel. When you're done with that, you can move to the next thing. So first, you go to the API services. And in the API services, you need to make sure that your BigQuery API is enabled, right? So it's by default, it is enabled and you can disable it, right? So if you press enable API and services, so you need to have BigQuery, right? Like this one, BigQuery API. This is enabled. Good. Now, the next step which you need to do, you need to have YouTube reporting API. So this one needs to be also enabled. Now, the next thing which you need to do, so let's wait for it to be enabled. That's good. So the next thing we want to get into here, I think this is it. But because I don't trust myself, I would say, you know, like, look, you will be working with YouTube, right? So you will be doing some stuff. Just enable the analytics API and the data. I don't know if they need it for this project. I believe they don't. But just to be sort of like sure, right? Let's just enable those. And now if we, you know, like getting back and forth. So now if we're getting into the APIs and services, we do see here the YouTube reporting. We do have BigQuery. And another thing which we need is, or maybe we don't. So now if we go to BigQuery, there is a data transfer, right? BigQuery data transfer has been used in project before it is disabled by enable blah blah. If you're enabling API the system will try. Okay, so okay, has not been used. Right, so Right, so, and this is what we're missing. We're also missing BigQuery data transfer API. It's perfect that we can enable it from here, so it doesn't really need to go any further. And it's done. Now, the next thing we should do is that, let's reload the page. So data transfer, recapped. So we go the YouTube channel. So the owner is for content owner. So this is when you actually, like organization, you have multiple YouTube channels, then you would need to do that, but most likely you already know about those. So now display name, it's just like, we could call it, like YouTube. It's fine. Now we don't do anything. The another thing which is needed is we need to create a new data set. So I'll just keep calling it. So project is recapped. Then the data set will be, let's say, YouTube. You can select multi-region or all region. I use US East 1. Table expiration, you can specify that, but let's say for the simplicity, we're just keeping it as is. So we have this one, table suffix. So I would put ice. Do we need to? Yes, we need to. So icebreaker engineer, right? So my YouTube channel, and then configure job. So this is basically we're just leaving as is. We're pressing save. We're getting a notification where we need to select a channel. We're pressing, like enable this one. Data source is not supported in the region. What? Enable to save transfer configuration. What? Create new data source. Cross cloud. Shoot. US East. US East 1. Okay, so we will go on a streak of getting things. Okay, so let's go here. Okay, so we need to go a little bit here, right? And let's say we're going in here, we're taking this one. Let's delete. Yes, delete. Sorry about that. Let's reload. Okay, and let's start almost from scratch. So when you're done with adding all the necessary API stuff, and we just added the BigQuery as well here, now we just need to select the source. So I'm just repeating myself, and then we give the name here, YouTube, and then we go data set. Let's create a new data set. Let's specify YouTube. Let's go with the single region, and I want to select US East 1, South Carolina. Great. Create data set. That's perfect. Scroll down, adding the icebreaker engineer as my table suffix. We're saving the result. He's asking me to select the account. So this is done. And the transfer is pending, right? So this will be transferring for the run date September 13. So what we want to do, we also want to do the schedule the backfill. And we want to, for the date of range, so we have the 13 already. So we're selecting the 12th. And what we also selecting is August 13, because it only has like a 30 days of data, like from the August to the September. Let's go. And backfill is scheduled. If I would reload the page, I see all of those is scheduled. And as we can see, the transfer is running, transfer is scheduled. Whether it try, I don't know why, but it's running. So, and then if we go again to the BigQuery, and we would expand our data set, we actually start seeing the data for the channels is coming in, right? And if I would select, let's say, channel's basic data, and I would say preview the data, I am going to start seeing the data available to me. So now the next thing what we'll do next time is we will be most likely connecting a Trino query engine to it. Why? Because I don't want to stay on Google. Maybe I should, but I want to just move this out from Google into something where I can then enrich the data with something else. The thing which I see here is I do have the, like the channel ID and the video ID. What I want to have an actual, like the information about what the video it is, maybe add some information for myself. So I would have, like sort of like add how much this video cost me to make, and well, nothing, just my time. But you get where I'm going, right? Like there needs to be something additional. So what I want to do, I want to have this data. So this would be like the YouTube data source, which is then joined with some additional data. And then that feeds into some sort of like a dashboard, right? And this is where I think I go to just, like the things which I know best, just to, or maybe we'll just stick it with the Google. I don't know, we'll figure it out. So yeah, that's it. For now, that's it. So just to get into, the data is pulling slowly. So, like it's only for the day. So I guess if you have a YouTube channel, do that now, and then you can enjoy, like the data which you have. And so far at this, enjoy your day, your night, or, depending on the time you're looking at. And thank you very much. Take care and good night.